Good afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. It's Thursday. We must be in the kitchen with Susan. Welcome. If you're here, say hi in the chat. I'd love to say hi back to you. Today we are going to make a Thai green bowl. And the way this recipe came about, and this is what makes me excited about cooking, I do little challenges to myself. I have a Zoom group with some people that are in my walking training group that are doing their first marathon, and they had a lot of questions. So I said, let's get on a Zoom and I'll do some coaching with you around the physical and mental part of doing a marathon. So we all know we've done hard things, but do you remember what got you through the hard things, or what got you to even attempt the hard thing? Usually it was a challenge, or someone daring you, or maybe someone supporting you, saying, I'll do it with you. So a lot of the people wanting to do the marathon this year is because it's the Flying Pig 25th year. And some people, it's their special birthday. So they want to challenge themselves at a certain age to do something they've never done before. So anyway, in doing some research on how to explain to them nutritionally what they should be eating while they're training, before, during, after, for the best energy while you're walking, and also to practice what you're going to fuel your body with before the day of the race, so that if you do have any GI issues, you can clear those up before the day of the race. And then what you should be eating after. So it's not just after the race, but after those training sessions where you're walking 15, 16, 18, 20 miles, you need to take care of your body so that your body makes it to the start line and finish line on marathon day. So in my quest for protein, carbs, fat, all in one bowl, not to mention the micronutrition that our bodies need. You know, we all know about fat, carbs, and protein, which are the macronutrition, the calories, but very few people know about the micronutrition, and that's the vitamins and minerals that are in the fruits and vegetables. And that's really, sorry to tell you, the only place you can get those. So this dish, I love Thai, so why not? Messages are coming through on my phone. And I love using forks over knives recipes because I don't have to do any adapting really, unless it's got gluten in it, and I follow gluten-free as much as possible. So this recipe, I posted it on the Facebook, in the Facebook group this morning. It's a green bowl. And I'm just gonna read to you the little explanation about this green bowl. Green bowls are all about creating layers of flavor, texture, and color. This Thai-inspired version combines a medley of fresh vegetables with a light but flavorful sauce that weaves bright citrus and spicy heat throughout the dish. So we're going to start with a bed of tricolor quinoa, which I already cooked. I'll show you. So it's got the white, the red, and I guess it's a brown quinoa. I usually buy the tricolor just because it adds some depth and color to the dishes. The recipe called for 6 cups, which is probably about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of quinoa cooked. I just made a cup of quinoa, 2 cups of water, cooked it on the stove for 15 minutes, and it's done. So that's going to be our base, or any other grain you want to use. I also have brown rice in the refrigerator. You could mix the two together, do a combination of brown rice and quinoa. My husband was never really a big fan of quinoa. He's learning to like quinoa. I don't know that he would sit down and eat a bowl of it by itself, like a breakfast, like you would oatmeal, but he will eat it when I camouflage it with all these vegetables and the Thai spice. And then we're going to use some crunchy cabbage, which I have cut up and washed some Napa cabbage. If you've never bought Napa cabbage before, I can show you the rest of the head. Sometimes they're really huge. So this is what the base of it looks like. And I just chopped up part of it because I don't know that we'll need it all. I can always chop up more later. And that makes like a perfect base for all of the vegetables that we have. And the vegetables are all like right here. So we have peppers, onions, mushrooms, green beans. I just got frozen green beans because they were in the freezer. And I added broccoli to the mix because you can't go wrong with broccoli. And then we're going to sprinkle it with peanuts and cilantro and a little extra of the sriracha after drizzling the sauce over top of it. So let's get busy. The first thing we have to do is cook the green beans, the mushrooms, the onion, the bell pepper for 4 or 5 minutes or until the green beans are starting to get crisp, tender. You don't want the veggies soggy. So I got my skillet out, which I very rarely use anymore. I usually cook in my rice cooker. So I'm just gonna throw all this stuff in first. I got 2 cups of green beans. Let me get this so you can see it. And those are frozen green beans, like I said. We got a cup of red onion. And I kind of rough chopped it. I didn't dice it or mince it. I sliced it and then I cut the onion in thirds. I kind of like it chunky. And then I got a red pepper and it said to slice it, so I did. I follow directions. Usually the first time I make something, I follow the directions. And then I'm gonna add some broccoli, like I said. So all that goes in the skillet. We're gonna turn the skillet on. And I don't use oil when I'm cooking. And that's what I love about forks over knives, because they don't either. And they tell you 1 to 2 tablespoons of water at a time. So I'm gonna let this get going. I'm gonna add the mushrooms after this gets going a little bit. I'm gonna let that get going. And then when I start hearing it sizzle, I'll add a couple tablespoons of water. So I always keep a cup of water and the tablespoon right here next to the stove so that that can happen. All right, and then we have to make the sauce. You know, I really love cooking with you all on Thursdays. Say hi if you're here in the chat, and if you're watching the replay, just hashtag replay. I love cooking on Thursdays because then when Bill gets home from work and he's had a really long day, dinner's already done. And, you know, I don't even think he got anything out today. It's interesting to watch his evolution since he's retired, especially since he's had carpal tunnel surgery and now he's had a couple people tell him he has arthritis in his hands and he's tired of having pain. He's been, and I just realized this today, you know, we all do better when we know better, but we also do better when we take it upon ourselves to be responsible for our own health. And nobody's more responsible than ourselves about what goes in our mouth. So he's been researching, and that's where I came up with the recipe last week about the anti-inflammatory foods, because he's showing interest. He's taking his water bottle to work with him. You know, I've been telling him to drink more water for years, but he finally decided to research it himself and see why he needs to drink more water. And so he's taking his water bottle to work every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And he, you know, he's not as tired when he gets home as he was before when he was not eating or drinking anything all day while he was at work. So it's an interesting evolution process, journey to watch. And I like to think that I'm part of facilitating that lifestyle shift, and I can help you do that too. But we can talk more about that later. So they're sizzling. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but I'm gonna put a little water in the vegetables, help them get along. You only do a couple tablespoons at a time and then let it cook off. And that way they really do get just like if you used oil. They're not soggy, they're not steamed, they're sauteed. All right, doesn't that look pretty? Can you see it? Let me move the camera a little closer. Ever since I dropped the camera in the soup bowl that day, I'm always a little nervous about moving this tripod around. All right, now I think you can see it. There we go. I'll just keep it there so you can watch that. Now, we have to make the sauce. So the sauce, here's my little saucepan, is a 1/2 cup of low sodium. I just use the regular because the low sodium has oil in it. So I just get the regular and I don't add salt. So a half a cup of vegetable broth goes in the pan, and then 2 tablespoons of lime juice. And if you've watched me before, you know this is my favorite brand. I would love to use fresh limes, but they're hard to keep on hand, so I just keep this in the refrigerator. And it works. It's fresh. It's just lime juice, that's it, nothing else. Yep, organic lime juice, period. That goes in there. And then we have a tablespoon of maple syrup. So I use real maple syrup. Tablespoon of that. Oh, the veggies smell good. Can you see the steam rising? All right, there's that. Maple syrup. And then we need a tablespoon of sriracha. And I'm a label reader, so I've read every label I can possibly read, and they always have stuff in them that I really don't want, but I love sriracha. Well, I found this Sky Valley brand that doesn't have any preservatives in it. Jalapeno peppers, cane sugar, distilled vinegar, salt, dried garlic, spice, xanthan gum to make it thicker. That's it. So now this is, instead of buying the one with the rooster on it, this is the one I buy. Is it more expensive? You got it. Because if we want to be healthy, everything has to cost more. But I figure if I'm not sitting in the doctor's office, it's a win-win. And you might ask, why would you be sitting in the doctor's office if you're eating preservatives and chemicals and stuff that you don't know what it is? Well, believe me, you will be. All right, arrowroot. Arrowroot is the same as cornstarch, but it's not a corn product, so I love this company as well. You'd think I got paid from all these people. Bulkfood.com. It's a lot of arrowroot, and I'll probably have it forever, but it's a lot less expensive than buying it at the store. So, plus I was ordering some other stuff. So 2 teaspoons of that. So arrowroot, tapioca. It's a thickener. Xanthan gum, which I could have bought that as well. Ooh, we need to turn the heat down. The vegetables are really getting carried away. All right. So all that is the sauce. Let's see what else goes in there. Cook it for 2 to 3 minutes. We'll put the back burner on. I'm going to add the mushrooms to the vegetables. We don't want them to get overly done. We want them to be a little crispy. This dish, as you can see, goes together really quickly. Probably the quinoa takes the longest, and it's 30 minutes, and you can make that, or 15 minutes. You can make that while you're cooking this, or ahead of time. Just put it in the fridge. I need to stir that up because the arrowroot's in there, and it's in a clump. All right. So that has to cook for 2 to 3 minutes or until thickened. And then we'll stir in the cilantro and season it with salt and pepper, which I probably will not do because, maybe pepper, but not salt because of the salt in the vegetable broth. I'm going to turn the vegetables down because I think they're pretty good. Let's see. Let's try a green bean. Perfect. I don't like my veggies soggy. I'm going to just put it on low. I'm hoping you're seeing how fast this goes together. Now, could you add chicken or shrimp or pork? Yes, you could. You would have to cook it a little longer and probably cook it first before you do all the veggies. And you could add a little bit more water since the vegetables are starting to stick. But I think they're good just the way they are. This is starting to come to a boil. 2 to 3 minutes. It's not very long at all. I mean, this dish almost comes together too fast. I can't keep up. Yeah, there's the boil. I'm going to turn it down to about 3. I have an electric stove, so once it's hot, it's hot. Can you see? The arrowroot just thickened it right up. And really we're cooking it so that it thickens up and the flavors all blend together. And then we're going to build our bowl, just like that. Let me see what. It's sweet. Yep. Woo! Spicy. It'll be so good on these vegetables. All right, I'm going to turn everything off. And we're ready to build our bowl. Let me put part of the cilantro in the sauce. Stir that up. That's another thing my husband never really cared for. And I've heard that people who don't like quinoa don't like cilantro. They think it tastes like soap. But I'm changing his taste buds one at a time. All right, let's build this bowl. Ooh, who came to visit? Hello, Nicole. How are you? And Heather and Jackie. Oh my God, this is going to be so good. All right, I'm going to put the camera down so you can watch me build this bowl. I got to get a drink. All right. Let's see how we can do this. All right, here's the bowl. Can you see it? Quinoa. So we'll put some of that in there. I got a pretty big bowl. So there's some quinoa. And then I've got the Napa cabbage, which you could use any greens. Doesn't have to just be Napa cabbage. Kale would be really good. A combination of the cabbage and kale and just some romaine. That would all be really good. The vegetables, and then I'm going to put a spoonful of those on there. These vegetables look so good. Vegetables, can you see them? Don't they look good? Should have got a bigger spoon. Quinoa. And then a little bit of the sauce drizzled over top of it all. Some extra, oh yummy. And a little sprinkle of this, cilantro, and a couple unsalted raw nuts, peanuts. You could use salted ones if you want. Whatever you got. Cashews, pecans. There it is. Can you see it? Doesn't it look good? I put it in a really big bowl so you could see all the different ingredients and it wouldn't be so crammed into a bowl. But I think I'm going to eat mine now. I don't think I'll be even waiting until 6 o'clock. Heck no, it's 3:19 and dinner's done. So I'm just going to set all this stuff aside, put it in bowls, and when Bill gets home, I'll make him dinner. And if he wants to have a piece of fish or a piece of chicken, he didn't get anything out. So you could also bake some tofu and add that to it. But I think it's going to be yummy just the way it is. So thanks for watching today. If you would like to know more about my coaching and how I could help you shift your mindset around food and movement, just say me in the chat and I'll get with you. Jackie, you can almost smell it. Oh my God, it smells so good. And that sauce has just the right amount of citrus. I was thinking the same thing, Heather. We should make this for the retreat. Because, you know, look how long it took. No time at all. So, I'll see you next week. If you have any requests, anything you want to know how to get on your plate, any carbs, protein, fat, magnesium. Yeah, we could have a cooking class. We could have a cooking lesson in the kitchen, getting dinner ready. Everybody could do something. Somebody could chop up the peppers. Somebody could chop up the cabbage. We could have Kroger deliver it all. We wouldn't even have to take it. We could make the quinoa ahead or not. It only takes 15 minutes to cook quinoa. I like how you're thinking. Alrighty, thanks for coming today. And I'll post how it goes over with my husband if he loves this Thai green bowl. See you all again next week. And if you have any requests, just put it in the Facebook group what you want me to cook. Or if you're interested in knowing how to get more of a mineral or a vitamin in your diet with food, just let me know that too, and I'll help you with that. See you all later. Bye. Thanks for coming.